Oh, $2 in here. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Owlet. It is currently getting towards the end of the regular season of Season 3.5. We're in Week 4 in the Majors Division here for a match between Velocity University and the Bandicoots. I'm Temp0ral, joined by LightKnight, and this looks like it could be an amazing match, Light.
Yes, it could be. Both the Bandicoots and Velocity University are pretty tied in the standings. Velocity University with 3 wins and 4 losses, with Bandicoots going 3-5. So they're fairly even. So this could go to a map 5 potentially, maybe even a map 6, if something interesting plays out.
I wouldn't be surprised at that. They're both playing for a spot in the playoffs. Of course, only the top 5 teams from the regular season will go through to playoffs. The Bandicoots, they're currently in that position, but as you've highlighted, they're so similar on their mat wins and losses. They're identical on their individual mat record across the entire season. So this match counts for both of these teams. The winner of this match will likely get a leg up over their opponent and secure that last shot into playoffs. The Velocity University, if you look at that scoreline, they're on 3-4. They've played 7 matches. Bandicoots have actually got another match ahead. They've got an extra win because they've got a forfeit from next week. So even if Velocity University goes down today, they'll have a make-up match. But then that puts a lot more pressure on themselves. And also, they need to make sure they keep their map differential better than Bandicoots, even in that case. So I feel like Velocity University they have that as a buffer, but then it might drive Bandicoots to be playing that much harder, knowing that they don't have as many matches in which to make an impact.
Yeah, on one side you have, it'll drive them harder. On the other side, you have that mental fatigue, and every single time you die, you're like, oh no. So I want to see. It's kind of like, how long can they last, and how long will they, their mental fortitude. It's kind of like a battle of mentalities here.
Yep. And speaking of the teams, let's introduce the players for tonight. The side of Velocity University will be represented by Dave Stryker, Quacky Moore, Little Sloth, Just Joking, Tex, and Brewer. And I mean, just looking at that list of names, without even going to what roles they're playing, I love Joe's name. It took me a little while to get it. Like, what, Just Joe? Do I call him Joe? Do I call him King? And then I got it, Just Joking. Fantastic use of puns then. The side of Bandicoot Light,
Bandicoot. Give me 1 second. Need to find the teams.
we're in the lobby.
Oh yeah, we are. Shoot. On the side of the Bandicoots, we have Vantage, Snopes, Kemi, Repeat, Pineapple, and Ian, I believe.
Indeed, and it's good to see Bandicoots coming in with the full roster this time. Their last match against Odyssey, they were down to support, so their coach, Jeff Bott, had to step in. Jeff Bott, well-known OWL player well-known player within the Owlet scene. Jeff Pott, not the Owl player, just not yet. Had to step in, but did a great job on the main support. But it's nice to play with your full standard 6. You've got the synergies that you need. Look at me with the business speak to, I guess, effectively run these compositions. And I speak about that match specifically because the Bandicoots are coming off a loss. They did suffer a very handedly 0-3 loss against Odyssey, so they'll be looking to bounce back. Whereas Velocity University, they had a bit of a better week. They went up 3-1 against Dice Rolls, who's a very strong team in the Majors division, so they'll be very confident in their abilities for this match.
Yeah, it does look we're going on Busan for the first map. I believe I forgot which part this is called. It's one of the little tower.
This is downtown.
Downtown. Yeah, we should be starting.
Ready for battle.
We will be. We'll see what the teams roll out on, whether it's that Roadhog. Sorry, they're still selecting their heroes, so we can talk a little bit about compositions. We're seeing a lot of Roadhog Zarya, not only in our matches, but even Owl picked it up. It was joked about. People said, it won't really happen, but it turns out it did happen, and teams like the Washington Justice are pulling it off to perfection.
Yeah, Roadhog is a really strong character because he can one-shot basically any squishy in the game, or every squishy in the game. He can even one-shot tanks, basically. And he's very powerful. We're gonna see it on the side of the Velocity University. Meanwhile, Banditcoots. Oh no!
Oh, that's a good start. Joking. Taking the task right to Kemi, forcing the resurrection to be invested almost instantly. And it's given Velocity University a little space in which to work, and Bandicoots falling left, front, and center. Joking, opening up really big, making their name. Look at that, up to 90% towards the infra site. 3 headshots in that fight. It's going to see Velocity University taking first control comfortably.
I was very impressive. He was just clicking heads. He hit one, he got res, and he hit 2 others. Just like that.
Well, Repeat has an answer. Now the double hit scan approach to counter that Widowmaker from Velocity University. Bandicoots following up a little sloth, removing the Bandicoots' own Widowmaker. Is going to see the fight a little bit even. Just Joking will be back first as the fight gets underway on the point. Quackymore using that hook to great effect, luring in Snopes. So Velocity University holding on, the Roadhog following up with another pick onto Repeat. We'll see Velocity holding on for the moment, building up their progress.
I would like to pay attention to that, like, ult at the left and right, especially for Genji, because Little Sloth already has his Dragon Blade, while Kemi is at 17%. He didn't, like, start off on him, Genji, but, you know, it's still a pretty big difference.
Indeed it is. We'll likely see a Nano Blade invested into this fight. Your Velocity University needs it, but given the way the last 2 fights have been going, they may not even need their ultimates. As I say that, Vantage spots out Just Joking. Little Sloth sweeps in, picks up 3. Oh my goodness, there's Genji slicing and dicing his way through the Bandicoots. Velocity University holding strong. They're looking unstoppable already.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. He went in there, got 3, and then Quackymore finished up the 4th. Absolutely ridiculous. I was kind of doubting the composition because I haven't seen it a lot. I was expecting a Zarya, but I'm not doubting it anymore.
So a lot of teams definitely like running this grind. Roadhog, a shatter thrown down by Dave Striker. It goes very low off the back of it, but it's done enough to give them an opening. The Bandicoots coming back, getting a kill or 2 of their own, putting the proximity mines on the point as well, but there's a whole hog of Quackymore keeping everyone away. The Roadhog will go low, but eventually the Reader is there to keep the piggy in the fight. A celebratory sound barrier from Brewer for some additional protection. Overtime burns down. Vantage gets back. So that's just Pineapple though. The Mercy going down to a nice 5 strike from Dave Striker. This Wrecking Ball of Vantage still swinging around the point, keeping overtime burning for the moment, but just not able to get back. Velocity University taking a clean 100-0.
Oh, that was very interesting. They took the point and they just held it. They got so many early damage in the first rounds that they got a Nano Blade, and they kept having ults. They didn't even need them, honestly.
Now they kept winning the neutral fight, and between Roadhog and Widowmaker, you see Quackymore and especially Just Joking at the very start of the map, they're just Banditcoots weren't afforded any opportunity to come in and fight at a full 6v6. They're always a player down, maybe having to use the Resurrection early. In Velocity University, just quite content to take those fights without using ultimates and bank them for when they might have needed them. But seeing some changes from both teams here, a little more brawly, a little more standard. Hopefully the Banditcoots will have a bit more success in the base.
I like that Junkrat. I feel like especially because everybody's like super close on, it's like kind of reminiscent of like a death ball. If you know he gets good shots off and gets good mines off, it could take out an opponent. That doesn't look to be the case though.
Advantage, early victim for Bandicoot. Big Ryan presence up front gone. So you can see Velocity getting very aggressive, taking advantage of all the space they now have. Going to take the first capture, but it's not quite a clean fight for them. Tech's going down.
Maybe a Pharaoh could work. I don't want them to switch when they're like pretty invested in this fight. You know, they got 38, 40, and 53 ult charge percentage individually. But a Pharaoh could work, especially considering they don't have any DPS hit scans, only Ana. You know.
You see Little Sloth doing so much work in that fight, already sitting on top of that Dragon Blade. May elect to choose it. May elect to use it without the nano boost. Who knows? But Tech's not far behind with that. Coalescence open from Ian, counter by a fantastic Earthshatter from Dave Striker. The Reinhardt made them pay for their life, but they denied a little bit of healing. But the rest of Bandicoots are there. Once we saw the Reinhardt go down, it was all said and done for this fight. Velocity University is still fighting it out, gaining a bit more percentage, but Bandicoots set to take their first control of the game.
That was really good. They managed to clutch that out. Now they just have to hold this, and I think it would be a lot easier for them to hold this, especially with that Junkrat. They can play around these angles, get that damage in.
Definitely spam in those grenades, and Velocity University, they baited the rotation. Now they come out of the door. The Graviton Surge invested by Bandicoots just to lock Velocity in place. They got a sound barrier over the top to keep themselves alive as they push their advantage, and the Death Blossom timing is good, picking up one. Velocity University, they went for the bait, but the Bandicoots responded brilliantly.
I was thinking that they were going for the other door, but I think that was like a bait and switch.
It did look that way.
I was actually kind of concerned. I was like, oh no, they're gonna get flanked. And then they kind of just turned around and popped all the ults.
Now we're seeing the Riptide coming out from Repeat, looking for an early victim. Oh, poor Tex. Bandicoot's actually going to push in off the back of that. They're walking to Just Joking. The Reaper there has the Death Blossom ready, but in a position to use the Rainfall gets the hell out of dodge. Bandicoot's still holding strong for the moment.
They're kind of like almost spawn camping Velocity. Oh, they missed them. Then they got flanked.
Oh, this time they don't fall for the bait, but it's not a bait. Velocity University marching up the top. The Death Blossom Graviton Surge combo is beautiful. Repeat actually picked up a kill in the middle of that onto Little Sloth, courtesy of the mayhem that the damage is done. Velocity University Storm on the point to recapture it.
They did manage to get quite the chunky percentage of 91 to 47 now. So they have quite a bit of time. They're pretty much in one fight territory.
We'll be walking into a Nano Blade for this fight, and Repeat going down. No trap for the Genji. Little Sloth going to have free reign. Bandicoots deciding where they want to go. Snope's poking out, building up towards that grab. Still waiting.
They're just trying to they're playing these chokes very well. Not letting it get
comes the, oh no, the Dragon Blade comes out, but Just Joking's the recipient of the Nano Boost. Maybe Biscuit, but Little Sloth not concerned at all, swipes down Vantage. The rest of the team, they're happy to brawl it out in the close quarters as Velocity University builds up to 90%. They're so close to taking the map.
Well, that was not. They just kind of get held. That Dragon Blade, even if you don't get many kills with that, which I'm pretty sure you got like 1 or 2, it's just so good because you have to expect the Dragon Blade.
Nice rotation from Bandicoots, gets them onto the point as Graviton Surge thrown in over the top, doesn't quite get anything. Great fire grenade. It's a lot of members of the Bandicoots, but there's no one there for Velocity Ability to follow up. They've Striker got one in the end. Vantage sweeps back, taking Just Joking out of the fight. The Death Blossom off the table for the moment. Now Ian, the Coalescence, keeping everyone on Bandicoots alive and well on the point. They're getting the numbers they need to flip the point back as Velocity University has hit overtime. The Bandicoots flip it back up to 95% of their own. And Velocity University has lost so many numbers, they might not be able to get a consolidated team fight here.
Yeah, they're going to be trickling in here.
Oh, the Death Blossom does pick up Ian, so good opening from Just Joking. Dave Striker return to the fight, pounces onto Kemi. Vantage charges across the point, looking for that Winston. Raining in Hammer Blow after Hammer Blow, but a Nano Boost. Healing Dave Striker up, providing so much damage from the Tesla Cannon. Little Sloth. Dave Striker doing so much work here. They're duking and jiving around the point. They've got, oh my goodness, the stall is good. Velocity University is going to flip the point back. Oh, Bandicoots, they didn't get the cleanup they need. Now there's a celebratory Dragon Blade to clean up Pineapple. Overtime burns down Quick Smart. Velocity University taking out Busan, putting themselves up 1 in the series.
At the end, I'm pretty sure they popped 2 ults to counter one of those blossoms. I believe it was a shadow and something else. I don't think they should have done that because they would have had the other ult for the fight.
Now, and it was really crucial that Just Joking managed to get that 1 kill onto Ian with the Death Blossom. If they'd shut down the ultimate without giving anything away, they would have had that bit more sustain with the Moira still on the point that they might have held on. But, I mean, the Just Joking proving decisive on both downtown and on Mecha base there. So definitely one to watch out for if you're Bandicoots.
Just Joking had a stellar performance. He got so many kills, just one after the other.
It was great reinforcements too from Dave Striker in particular, coming in on the Winston. First time they picked up this map. And I mean, talking a little bit about the compositions, it's been interesting to see that both of the teams really went for, they're sticking on that, I guess in the case of Bandicoots, it's that double bubble composition, the Winston Zarya. Velocity University countering with their Ryan Roadhog of their own. Neither of them willing to do away with that big shield up the front.
Yeah. Obviously that the Reinhardt shield's more powerful, so they could soak up more damage, and they could probably do more damage because it's more forgiving. The double bubble is typically treated more like you would go in, you would pop one of the bubbles, and then you would pop the other bubble, and you could get out without taking any damage. I didn't really see any of that. They didn't go into the back line, so maybe they could try a bit of a, I don't want to say dive, but like a divey comp where they would focus down one of the healers, or Winston would focus down one of the healers more, and then get out, and that would give them a really big advantage, especially at the start.
And you'd think they'd be jumping on the opposing Ana, so Tex would want to be watching out if Bandicoots do break out that more proper dive composition, given that Brewer have been playing a lot of Lucio, some fantastic sound barriers, but a nightmare target to hunt down, even if you've got multiple players going after the one hero.
Lucio's are, I don't want to say impossible, but they're close to impossible to shoot if you're not unless you're like an Overwatch League player. Can't hit them.
That's why you switch to Winston. So you don't have to aim. You just click in the Lucio's general direction, and it makes life a little harder for the Brazilian DJ.
Yeah, aim is not necessary.
Anyway, so talking about in the theme of what teams might go for, the next map will be an escort map. And the choices that Bandicoots now face are Dorado, Havana, and Gibraltar. Given what we've seen out of them going that double bubble composition, playing a bit of Ashe, bit of Genji, bit of Junkrat, is there I was going to ask if there's a preference, but they've selected. What do you think of Dorado for Bandicoots?
Dorado's an interesting map. I'm not personally a big fan of it. However, it has really good choke points. And Junkrat breeds off junk points. He lives on it. And so if he can get really big damage on the defense on Junkrat and just hit those choke points repeatedly, I'm pretty sure there's 3 in the span of 10 meters or something dumb like that. He could build his tie and get massive kills with that.
We'll see if Repeat chooses to come out with that again, or Bandicoots try maybe something else. Of course, the first choke point on Dorado, very ground-based. There is that high ground the defenders can sit on, but you often see the cart go under the bridge and then the defense rotate to block off or choke off that under the bridge choke point. I guess that's why it's called a choke point, because you can choke it off. And yeah, I'll be curious to see what Bandicoots throw. They're throwing a few different compositions. Everyone in the team has actually played multiple heroes already. Just in 2 rounds of control, we've seen multiple heroes out of all the players, except Snopes sticking on the Zarya. And I mean, Snopes is definitely a great off-tank player. They specialize in that role, so you don't want to be taking them off that Zarya, unless of course you maybe put them on the Roadhog if you go that Roadhog, yeah, with whatever Vantage wants to play. But I'd like to see a little more out of them. I think there was the one Graviton Surge on Mecha Base, so it just went into nothing that came out of Snopes.
Yeah.
I need to be a little wary with the ultimate usage there.
It hit the stair, you know, and they kind of killed the stair, I guess. Oh, they made the construction workers sweat.
Or they just keep, they're giving them a bit more work. As long if I'm getting paid by the hour, that's fine. You can destroy it. Just get paid to rebuild it again.
It's an undercover job.
And Velocity University, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them sticking on what has worked so far, leading the way the 2 tanks, Dave Striker and Quackymore, the Ryan Roadhog, proving a deadly duo. Quackymore was a little more quiet on Mecha Base, allowing the rest of the team to set up, but coming into Dorado, as you said, that first choke point is very condensed. It's a nice brawly atmosphere, which is exactly what Roadhog wants. You throw the hook through, pull someone out, and all of a sudden Bandicoots are down a player. Looks like the teams are readying up. Velocity University will be sticking on the No, they're changing sides. Velocity University will be attacking first. Bandicoots taking up defense. It's an interesting choice, as I believe Velocity University are the ones that get to choose sides, given that Bandicoots chose the map.
Yeah, it's very So the Bandicoots chose the maps, and Velocity University chose the side. So, they're gonna be on attack first, which it's interesting because typically the ones who attack second, I feel, have the advantage because they know what they have to aim for when attacking, so they could play around that. Typically, that's how it kind of is in baseball and stuff, which
Well, perhaps it's a power move on the side of Velocity University. They've deliberately put themselves in the less advantageous position to take the challenge to Bandicoots. They finish the map and say, all right, now you do it better. Keep them shaking in their boots.
Yeah, they're just flexing on him. Okay, so we are going to be in Dorado.
Well, given where the teams are in the season, 5th and 6th, Bandicoots, the ones currently on top in the last playoff spot. Velocity University want to shake them as much as they can. If they can eke out a win here, and then rough Bandicoots up enough that next week they come in all shaken, not quite able to perform, they can secure that last playoff spot. So, Velocity University, I think, playing the long game, and why not? You need anything you can do to get yourself into playoffs is what you need to do.
Playing 10D chess or something like that. You think you have them in checkmate, but they're in a different alter dimension.
And you find out, you look down and Bandicoots finds out they've been playing with checkers pieces all along.
Oh, they're gonna be running.
Swapping them out.
They're gonna be running a Pharah. Pharah's pretty good. Even if the enemy team is a hit scan, all you gotta do is kind of just hide behind corners and come up every once in a while. Or maybe have the Zarya give you a bubble, and they also have the Zarya.
I do like what we're seeing coming out from the defense on Bandicoots. This is pretty much the meta right now, whether you run the, especially when it comes to DPS and supports, the Ashe Tracer is a great combination. You've got Repeat throwing in the damage on the Ashe long range, calling out the low targets, which Kemi can now come in and finish off. So I definitely like this DPS duo.
I actually thought Repeat was gonna kill himself with the dynamite because he was at half HP, and I was like, oh no, oh no. They're getting dived. Not good. They're not.
They are. So really the pressure on Repeat has to take care of Little Sloth, but the Farah getting the better off Ashe. That's a great opening for Velocity University. Both the DPS down. Repeat was brought back into the fight, but the defense has to reposition. Cart makes its way under that choke point. Vantage goes on the cart. Oh, dearie me. The fire grenade is good. It forces the Winston to retreat. And it's granted so much space for Velocity University to move up. Little Sloth raining down rockets on that choke point just beyond the first point. Kemi back on the Farah, trying to take the battle in the air. But so far, not having any luck. Losers out on their farmers, losers out on their mercy. The rest of the support line for Banditcoots is down to Velocity University, pushing the card home, leaving 5 minutes to get through the rest of the map.
Looks like they're gonna be counting the Pharah with another Pharah. I've seen that before. It's a pretty valid pick, I would say, because on repeat they kill each other. They do like an anime punching thing. But
the Ash, the first victim again, so has to get the resurrection out of Pineapple. A little bit of damage, and Velocity University, they're moving up very aggressively. Already at the second point, the cart is nowhere near the primal raging Dave Striker battering around Vantage on the high ground. Winston ends up having to retreat, goes very, very low. No, gets back in there. What's that last little swipe of damage? Great healing coming from Ian the Ana, keeping the Winston topped up. Sorry, that was from Tex, keeping the Winston topped up. Graviton Surge thrown in by Snopes, locking multiple members of the attack in front of the cart, and the follow-up is good. Zarya burning one down, repeat advantage, getting in on the action of finally Velocity University's momentum is stopped.
oh, they only have like 2 ults now compared to the other teams. So I believe Velocity is like what 5. So they don't have as many. However, they should be able to pull out a W. And if they could get the economy rolling, start trading ultimates, that's the best thing they can do right now.
Give ults to use. Both the supports come out. The Nano Blade online for just joking. Looking for a target for Banditcoots. They spread out, dive away, repeat. Unfortunately, the coach gun only has 1 charge, not able to get far enough. But while they were split, Velocity University taking advantage of the confusion. Tank line. Little Sloth taking the fight right to Kemi, and now Ian, the poor little Ana, sad and alone, will be cleaned up. It's a 1 kill for the effort, but Velocity University rounding the final turn on this second point.
God, I'm pretty sure they slept Kemi. I was like, oh, that was a really impressive sleep right there.
There is going to be a last-minute engagement on the Banditcoots. Bob on the cart, but they walk right into a barrage.
It was a trap.
The Graviton Surge keeping them all banked up. The Kemi and Repeat able to get out, get a couple of ticks. Well, I say Repeat, it was actually the Bob taking out Quacky Moore. And the cart's still moving forward, but it's slowed down. Bandicoot still has the numbers available. Just joking, dashes through, trying to make a difference, but the reinforcements of Bandicoots are back. They're going to hold Velocity University just 5 meters shy of the second point.
The Battle Mercy. The legendary Battle Mercy over there. Bob did heavy lifting there. He did so much. He held the cart. He did like a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure he got like 2 picks. So that was a pretty good ultimate.
That's a nice play by Snopes. Little Sloth down on the high ground. He resurrected, but it's bought a little bit of time and burned out. Brewers res. So Farah back in the fight, angry as all hell. Repeat onto the Soldier 76, goes down, brought back into the fight, and under so much pressure, Dave Striker going right after the 76. The primal rage required to finish him off. The cart is pushing its way forward. Velocity University, it's a messy fight, but they're getting some progress. Oh, the fire grenade though. Little Sloth goes so low. The Diva knocked out to make it taken down, but the numbers are still with Velocity, even in the face of everything. They're able to hold on to this fight. It's just Vantage left. The adaptive shield's the only thing keeping the Wrecking Ball alive for the moment. Eventually has to get away for the health pack, but Velocity University completing the second point, leaving 3 minutes to finish the map. Advantage. Ooh, we'll get away.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting fight. Vantage held on though for so long. He kind of just sat there and he just didn't die. And he like, I'm pretty sure he saw like an extra 10 seconds, which goes a long way in this game.
What also goes a long way is a dashing Genji with a nano boost and a Dragon Blade sweeping through 3. Just joking, it's an absolute monster on this hero. leading the way for Velocity University to push the cart forward. They're almost at the final turn, and with 2 minutes left, Banditcoots are going to be hard-pressed to stop them.
Oh no, this is... they're gonna have to start trickling in, I think. Well, they might have room for one more team fight, but that's it.
They've got a couple of great ults. The Graviton Surge eaten by Quackymore. This Diva hungry for more. The barrage ready for Kemi. There's a barrage over the top from both teams. And Kemi gets 2. Touches the cart, stops it just shy of the point. 82 centimeters left to go, but Velocity University all over it. The self-destruct will clear the way for it to finish. 1 minute 45 remaining in the time bank. But Quackymore coming up huge. They're taking that Graviton Surge out of the fight.
Yeah, that's really impressive. You don't see people eating Graviton Surges like often. I've only seen like that a couple times ever. And it's very impressive.
Great to see Quackymore having fun off the Roadhog. I know Roadhog is a little more fun to play sometimes, given that you can making all the power moves. You come up in the kill. You know, what's more fun than a tank who can one-shot? It's not often tanks get that kind of power. But switching onto the Diva, doing an absolutely wonderful job.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, I agree. They were doing pretty well there. What comps are here? We got pretty much mirror comps on the tanks as well as the healers. DPS is going to be the, I don't want to say deciding factor, but it was like where the different comps are gonna show.
And Little Sloth sticking on the Genji was so beneficial to Velocity on their attack. I shudder to think what it will do on the defense when you can pick and choose where you attack from.
Yeah, they're probably like...
If they stick on this will be quite a change for them.
Yeah, University, sorry, they actually changed the Winston to a Reinhardt. I didn't see that. Widowmaker is gonna be huge though if you can get good picks in the early game. Maybe on one of the supports that are behind the shield. Oh, but he gets...
Oh, no. Oh, Kemi, it's just not your day. Brought back into the fight, but advantage going down. There's only one resurrection available for Banditcoots. They're going to have to wait for the Wrecking Ball. So they won't have to wait long. Well, especially when it's a Winston, so they'll be waiting forever if they're waiting for the Wrecking Ball. The cart pushing up around the first corner. Velocity, though, well placed to take care of this. A Ryan Roadhog up front, just joking, has all the space in the world. Pump the damage, repeat goes down, and Velocity, they're hunting Banditcoots right back to their spawn.
Oh yeah, there's like a wild hunter looking for his prey. Hunter looking for his prey, not a wild hunter. That Pharah could do work though.
Due diligence and figured out what a Bandicoot was before we came in. I want to say raccoon, but I know they're different species.
Yeah.
In any case, Little Sloth sitting on a Dragon Blade already after one fight.
Oh yeah, he is. Could see a Nano Blade coming out of this next, or not this battle, maybe the one after. Maybe this one actually.
It'll be this one. Tex doing a lot of healing, but Kemi going down. They don't even need the ultimates for the moment. They can take this fight right in the doorway, and they're just burning time off the clock. Bandicoots needs to come up with something. Bandit's pushing their way forward, but repeat. Had the barrage but denied by Quackymore. Can't believe they did it. Throw the ult away. Pineapple gets the resurrection, but gives their life for it. Quackymore, the Roadhog on the ground, not the hero you expect to be taking care of a pharmacy.
I'd like to point out how well they just like made the Reinhardt survive. Like the healers out of sheer will just kind of forced him to live. Like he kept taking damage and he kept getting shot, but he just stood up. Like because he kept getting really good heals.
Now Velocity University, they're sitting on the big six Bandicoots. They've got a couple ultimates to work with, but it's so difficult to fight into six. The Nano Boost over the top. On to repeat for a bit of survivability. The barrage unleashed. Quackymore removed from the fight. Immediately followed by Dave Striker. Little Sloth has the answer in the Nano Blade of their own, and Quackymore back into the fight. Courtesy of Brewers, going to see Velocity University suffer a couple of early losses, but then bring it back spectacularly. Can't make a little bit more progress, so a kind of messy fight for the defense. They've got the numbers they need, but they're forced back by a great self-destruct. Quackymore responding with a whole hog, pushing advantage out of the fight all the way back to spawn, and the defense enter holding strongly. The Bandicoots with a minute left just to finish the first point.
Yeah, the Pharaoh for the side of the, I believe, the Bandicoots, I believe it was Pete, actually flamed with Pineapple. And instead of shooting one of the supports...
Oh, what a pulse bomb! Brewer out of the fight!
Oh no!
No resurrection online for the defense now, and that is the opportunity that Bandicoots were looking for. A peek in there, but the bomb from Just Joking, turning the tide, takes down 2. Oh no, Bandicoots. It's all up to repeat now. Can the Echo get something done? No. And last-ditch effort from Snoke's going to see a nano-boosted Diva contesting the cart. Has Ian in support, but flying out of harm's way. Oh dear. Quackimore hunting down the Ana, plugging away the tanks of Bandicoots, providing a lot of protection for Ian. And Earthshatter from the returning Dave Striker, going to laying down the tanks, forces the self-destruct out of Snopes, well blocked by Dave Striker. Shielded now, the reinforcements are there for both teams. It's an all-out brawl in the cut. Quackimore goes low, uses the Red Breather to get back in the fight. Now a whole hog combined with a Dragon Blade out of velocity is going to slice and dice its way through Bandicoots. The attackers, their cart is so close, but they don't have the numbers of Primal Raging Fans. He's trying to turn the fight. Kemi with a Pulse Bomb doesn't quite get any value, and as the numbers fall for the Bandicoots, Velocity University is all over this cart, all over the scoreboard, and they are going to put themselves on match point, holding Bandicoots just before point A.
Yeah, the Velocity University is just playing out of their minds. They're playing absolutely insane. They just keep doing damage, and they keep getting ultimates, and they do so much with those. They keep winning teams because they keep getting kills, and it's not even the Bandicoots' fault really. It's just that Velocity is just playing that well. That was ridiculous ult.
Well, they're showing they are a force to be reckoned with in the tournament.
That's how we do it.
Yes, they are.
Want to fear them. Bandicoots, perhaps on their last legs, if they lose this match, they'll go to 3 wins, 6 losses. Velocity would be the team ahead of them on the ladder, 4-4. And even if Velocity, so Velocity, given they have that match in hand, they're looking pretty to effectively lock in that final playoff spot with just one more map win here in this match.
The Bandicoots are gonna have to look for a reverse sweep, and they're gonna have to look to improve their gameplay, and maybe get more ults, maybe do more damage and stuff.
And the question is, where do they pull that from? Velocity University, I mean, Just Joking and Little Sloth have been such a dynamic duo. When one of them is not picking apart the Bandicoots, the other one steps up and is able to take on that leading DPS role. It's just been so difficult for Bandicoots to deal with those two.
Yeah, typically when I'm down and I need to pull out my skill is I go to aimbot.com. That's usually why I go. it works. It works. Trust me.
They're not an official sponsor of Owlet tournament. We don't endorse the use of hacking in tournament or anywhere else in Overwatch. Don't hack. Only use hack if you are Soldier 76 pressing Q.
Yes.
That's the only time you're allowed to aimbot in this game. That's a good point. Actually, yeah, she gets her own wall hacks. Sounds better. Anyway, I mean, and Velocity University, look, we say the DPS are doing a fantastic job. There's no denying that. But they've granted so much space. Dave Striker and Quackimore are doing a phenomenal job. And not only are they individually talented themselves, but they're working together oh so well, particularly in that Reinhardt Roadhog composition. You're seeing Dave has the big shield up front. Quackimore can just sit behind it, well protected, looks for an target of opportunity, and then pulls them in. And on the next map of King's Row, it's very likely that we'll see that composition come out yet again, and the Bandicoots are going to be walking into a wall of pain if they can't find any answer to what the Velocity University is throwing at them.
Yeah, if they just can't like counter, and they can't either they get a better pick or just somehow like pull I don't know, like Deus Ex Machina out of their hearts, they're probably not going to be able to survive. But if they can, which, might be able to, they're definitely going to be able to, get a little bit of hope and maybe even win a map or two.
And Velocity University have chosen to defend first this time, so maybe they're done with the BM of showing off, saying we can push a map and then full hold you. They just want to get this over and done with and start practicing for next week.
Yeah, they want to get back to the practicing range.
We'll see what the Bandicoots will throw out. So what the Bandicoots will throw out first on their attack. They'll be the ones looking to set the tone for the map, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe try and take that toe-to-toe brawl. What they've been running, that Winston, Zarya, even the Winston Road Dogg, hasn't quite worked out for them so far, and maybe this is their last chance potentially to throw something else at Velocity University. Maybe it is a time to go just straight up brawl v brawl. It's a kind of play style that teams will be very familiar with. It's been around for goodness knows how long in Overwatch. Maybe this is a chance to bring it out, especially when you've got DPS like Kemi and Repeat who haven't played much of the Ash Tracer, so maybe they're not as comfortable, and you need a composition that more suits what they can play.
Yeah, Kingswell, I think, is a really good map. I've played it and I've seen people play it so much. Like every single tournament I've been in, every single one I've cast, every single one I've watched, there's always a Kingswell. So it's obviously a fan favorite, and everybody has played this map and everybody's practiced it. So this is where you're gonna see, in my opinion, the best, or the the true force. I don't know, the pure soul.
You know, I feel like we've been doing the support line a bit of an injustice. I mean, I think I say this every broadcast I do. It's a thankless job, and especially for the side of Velocity University, you're just not going to notice it if your team is so strong. You don't notice that they're strong because the support. So their techs on the Ana in particular has been phenomenal. Keeping pretty much time with Little Sloth's Dragon Blade, meaning with the Nano Boost, meaning that Little Sloth can always go in with the Nano Blade, always has that protection, and it shows you how much healing Tex is pumping out, given that they're building their ultimate charge at the same rate as the Genji Dragon Blade. So fantastic work from them, and they haven't had to swap off onto a different hero. Ana, so strong right now, and so well protected by the fact that the rest of Velocity University is up there, dealing damage, distracting Bandicoots from any attempt to jump on the Velocity backline.
Yeah, healers really are, in my opinion, the I don't want to say the deciding factor in whether a team is good or not, but they are the deciding factor. You can have like not so good DPS and like average tanks, but if you have like a bad healer, your team kind of crumbles.
It can make all the difference. We're seeing some slight composition changes for Velocity University. The classic Rhine Zarya on King's Road combined with Little Sloth on the Mei for the first time tonight. What do you think of that?
Mei has always been like not like the best character just because like a big hitbox. She did see a bit of meta play, I believe, like once.
Come on, Bandicoots. Sorry to distract the Symmetra Bastion. Yes! I love seeing this come out.
I thought they were trolling.
Oh, the statue! Oh, Kemi! Rains down the damage. Little Sloth did not expect the Bastion to be above, and Bandicoots, just like that, already have the advantage. Repeat, pineapple back to the spawn, stomping onto the Mercy. They want all the long-range damage they can get. They need to apply pressure onto Velocity University before Little Sloth was able to get back, and it looks like the defense are content to give up point A. Oh, Bandicoots, is this the start of the reverse sweep?
Oh, if this is the start of reverse sweep with the Bastion, I will be so happy. Because Bastion's just such a meme character. I absolutely love it. They can't move because the Bastion's gonna kill them.
Oh, dearie me, but Pineapple going down, just joking, finding an opening through the double shield being presented by Bandicoots, finishes off Repeat as well, the far Mercy out of the fight. Immortality from Ian in the choke point, keeping the cart alive for the moment, and Earthshatter goes down. Vantage had all the space in the world to build that up. Quackymore has to retreat.
Absolutely beautiful. They're just playing on card with that Bastion. It's amazing.
And Bandicoots have built up a fair few ultimates in the course of that, so there's a good chance of steamrolling all the way to point C.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bastion is doing just straight up work, even if he doesn't get any kills. It's kind of like a mental thing. It's like, oh no, they have a Bastion, they can't beat
Oh, they
this
walked
spot.
right into the gravitic flux. Dave Striker gets killed off the back of it. Kemi finding Little Slot and Velocity University don't have an answer at all. The cart pushing through. This is going to be a monster of a time bank coming into the third point.
Got a world record. This is reminding me of like silver ranked. Holy cow.
Well, these players are most certainly way out of silver.
No, Bastion steamrolling me and my team. I have like, I'm getting like Vietnam flashbacks of like flying Bastions and stuff. Oh, I've seen stuff.
Yeah, me, Velocity University. They have some ultimates to work with. A nice flank from Dave Striker. Lay down the Earth Shadow, but the counter shadow from Vantage is even better. The barrage over the top from Repeat to clear things up. Oh dear me, Bandicoots, they stalled for about 5 seconds, but the cart is going to continue rolling.
Well, the Bastion died for a second. I was kind of scared, but then he got red straight after.
And screw you, Mercy. Friendship ended. Bastion is the new friend for Mercy Mains. He's going to be stomping off onto the Echo as the cart moves forward right through the amplification matrix. Does that mean the cart does more damage now? I don't know. The stall from Velocity University is the last ditch effort. They throw everything and the kitchen sink. Kemi kills themselves in the middle of the configuration. Tang, Repeat answers back onto Dave Strike. Bandicoots, this might be the end of that pirate ship run, but they've got plenty more time to finish off the map.
The reign of the Bastion, no.
All things must end. That one took a while before it did.
Yeah, that was a very good pirate comp, you know, like, they just kept going all the way to almost point C, so they're in, I want to say single player territory.
Oh, that was an unfortunate engage. Vantage got lured in a little far. The rest of Velocity, they're waiting and waiting to finish off the Reinhardt. Bandicoots, they're sticking around with the Valkyrie, but they might want to get out. No, okay. Vantage gets back in the nick of time now. Snopes, another gravitic flux. Smacks Dave Striker into the ground. Snopes finishing that one off single-handedly. Tex goes down. The cart's going to push its way forward. Bandicoots have all the room in the world as Repeat duplicates the Ash, looking to build up that ball, bringing that 7th member onto the point. Making this defensive effort from Velocity University all much harder. Quackymore picks up Snopes the hook, sending the Sigma into the world. Dave Striker, I think this pole drive off the side, but Quackymore bringing it back to the defense. The whole hog finishing off the bomb. Just like that, Bandicoots, they look like they might finish, but Velocity holding on by the skin of their teeth.
Oh yeah, they were so close to losing there. Kemi does have the Dragon Blade though, so but so does Little Slot. They're gonna see a bit of a blade clash maybe.
Well, you can't clash Dragon Blades so much. It would be interesting if they both worked like a deflect. You could duel it out. Whichever Genji wins gets to take the team fight. But we'll see both Genjis looking for an opening, getting in on the back line of their opponents. Little Sloth gets stunned, and that's a nice Earth Shatter from Vantage. Knocks him to the ground. There's the Dragon Blade from Kemi. No Nano Boost in sight. Gets one. Eventually taken down by the Roadhog of Quackymore, who follows up onto Repeat. So nice response again from this Velocity off tank, picking up a quick 2k, keeping their team in the fight. Advantage off the side. The soundwave from Brewer is good. That might be it for this attack from Bandicoots. But given the amount of time they can win with Light, they've still got 2 minutes 20 left in the time bank.
Yes, they do. So they should be able to like build ults, and if they get like all 6 ults and just run in, they're gonna be able to cap point unless the Velocity University always also have all 6 ults.
Well, it looks like that might be the case. Just joking. I know you have 44%, but I could see a scenario where that gets built up very quickly. Engaging on the high ground now, the Nano Boost onto Little Sloth, the Dragon Blade unsheathed right into the backline, takes care of Kemi. Repeat, trying to get the hell out of Dodge, could not find any reprieve, and simple nano blade is going to be enough of velocity to stall the attack once again. And Bandicoots, that massive time bank running low.
Yeah, it's at 130. They were really fighting on that Bastion, and granted, it was a really good Bastion. But the second they lost that fight, they were forced off on characters that didn't feel as comfortable with, or just weren't as good as the legendary Bastion.
Oh, repeat! The duplicate Roadhog already with the whole hog pushes some players out of the Gravitic Flux, but it's good enough. Snope is taking care of the entire of the front line from Velocity University. Bandicoots now have the opening they need. The last ditch Bob, just joking, won't be enough to stall the cart for long. Tex
To win this, right?
buying a couple of seconds with their life. It might have made the difference. Brewer and Little Soft back getting kills of their own. Pineapple looking for a resurrection, finds it onto Ian Kemi, taking the Genji of Little Soft out of the fight, but the Brawl is still on the cart. Velocity University are not out of this yet, and they're getting the kills they need to stall the advance from Bandicoot. Numbers going down. The attackers left with just one attack left, 30 seconds remaining to finish the map.
They don't have much time here. They started off with, I believe, 430, and it's been trickling down ever since. Have to be able to get this. Need that assurance of a third point.
Seeing the last minute emergency swaps. Vantage back on the Wrecking Ball just to touch both DPS ultimate defense. And Pineapple, the Battle Mercy nano boosted, looking for an early pick. Going to be blown away by the whole hog of Quackymore, the Roadhog, keeping that most dangerous danger at bay. Now there's a nano blade online for Sloth, sweeping through the remainder of Bandicoots. Kemi goes down. The Kenji's made a beeline for this action multiple times with the blade. It's made such a difference. Brewer with a nice 2k, keeping their team in the fight. And Velocity University have the numbers. They're going to keep Bandicoots stopped 62 meters into the third point. There's a clear win condition now for Velocity University. It's just finish the map and take the match.
Yeah, if they finish the map, they are going to be winning the whole series and potentially knock out the Bandicoots, or probably actually take out the Bandicoots out of the playoffs. However, there is a shining glimmer of hope of Bastion on defense. Not sure if that's hope or like death. Depends which side you're on. But if they do play Bastion, I will be a very happy boy. Bastion is by far the best character.
Yeah, really, for Bandicoots here, the name of the game will be burning as much time as you can off the clock on point A and point B. If Velocity University makes it into point C with a decent amount of time, say 2 to 3 minutes in their time bank, they'll be looking good to take the cart the entire way using the momentum they built up. So Bandicoots, it looks like they...
Pineapple drops my team is story.
Oh no, looking at the composition they're running. If I was in ranked, I would make that same argument. They're breaking out the Bastion Sim again on defense. Advantage of Snopes up front. Roadhog Sigma, not a composition I think I've seen.
Flanking Roadhog. Very nice. Let's see what this Bastion is.
2, 1.
Oh, the statue actually. Bit of a bunker maybe?
Going for a... Or whatever defense they're going for. It's, oh, okay, this is a surprise. Onto the front hotel, besides the bus with the teleporter. But all you've done is give Velocity University the point. The team's in top position. Now, how do you re-attack with the Bastion? Oh, no, okay. Kemi doing a decent job burning down Quackymore as Bandicoots taking the fight to the point. Snopes, Advantage storming in the tank line, doing all the damage in the world. Bandicoots holding on. They end up not giving up a single percentage point.
Worked!
Namaste.
Flanking Bastion. You've heard about it in the legends, you've heard about it in the tales, but you've never seen it in real life. This is the power of the flanking Bastion.
Not only that, it was a teleport behind the attacking team, pretty much onto their spawn. In the meantime, the attack goes in, Immortality Field out. It's the only thing keeping the supports of Bandicoots alive right now, as they were bio-grenaded. Advantage goes in a little too aggressively. Quackymore finishing off the Wrecking Ball. Straight out for Tex. Velocity University, though, following up. Quackymore moving into Bastion. Finally out of the fight. Little Sloth gets a kill of their own, and now the attackers all over the point. A charge from Dave Striker will be denied. Pineapple trying to bring it back for their team. Not happy with the rest of their teammates. Throwing with the composition. Trying to do every job under the sun. Bandicoots are still holding on. They haven't given up a tick. There's now a photon barrier on the point.
Yeah, that's actually, that was really impressive, actually. Holy...
What's going on here? Kemi gets isolated in the backline again. Quackymore finding that. Now the whole hog smushing the Bandicoots again. It's going to be enough for Velocity to make some progress at the point. They've got a single tick. Now proximity mines are back. Covers a little bit of the point, but Velocity not that concerned by it. They've got a sound barrier to keep themselves alive, and the trickling from Bandicoots is just buying time for the moment. Like,
advantage of Pineapple were like, oh, our teams are throwing. Our team's throwing. And they kind of just picked up the team and put it on our backs for like a solid 30 seconds. They just kind of deadlifted the whole team.
Look, they've built and they've burnt an extra minute off Velocity's time back. This is the best case scenario for Bandicoots, given the composition they were running. And they're still going. The reinforcers are still coming back. They
brought down the time by like a minute by like sheer will. Kind of just willed it to P.
Question is, do they stick on it? Have you burnt? They burnt both the DPS ults in that. Do you want to stick on the Symmetra Bastion?
Flanking Hammond. Seen the flanking Bastion, but have you seen the flanking Hammond?
I'll be careful as Vantage cut off from the rest of their team. Actually finds Just Choking's Translocator, so denying a bit of that teleport from Sombra, but EMP online, I wouldn't be too worried about having my Translocator back there. As Bandicoots, they're in the wrong spot. They're coming from the defensive side. That's great use of the teleport to get around. Kemi mowing down the members of Velocity on the cart, but might get around the corner though. Proximity mines out of Vantage. Going to be putting a stop to that. Taking Tex out of the fight too, and a sound barrier. Bandicoots want to fight this out. Answering sound barrier from Velocity University. Followed up by the EMP for choking, but taken down by Vantage. They don't get much value out of it. Okay, sorry, my mistake. They do get a lot of value out of it. In the end, it's enough for Velocity University to get the cart back underway.
If you look at chat, Pineapple's begging for Lucio 1v1. If that actually happens, I will cry. You will hear me cry on stream.
I don't think it's happening. Pineapple's looking for it, but no. Brewer's on the cart. That's pushing home towards B. The re-engage from Bandicoots is started, but Vantage all on their own on the Wrecking Ball melted down.
Oh, it was fast.
Yeah, they picked up the pace coming into B. They're going to have a decent time bank with which to finish the map and take the match.
Bastion has got to do pretty good work here.
Kemi sitting on top of that configuration tank. Has to deal with the Nano Blade of Little Sloth. Hunt, stand, repeat. Also finishing off Snopes. Third of the Bandicoots down. This teleport is out. Kemi not going to live long enough to get out the configuration tank. And oh dear, Vantage caught out of spawn. May just make it back to get healed up. Yes. Bandicoots will get one last ditch effort to attack, and they've got a few ultimates with this to do it. Now comes the Photon Barrier first. The Gravitic Flux on the cart, lifting up multiple members. Damage might not be there. Kemi, configuration tank is mostly denied by a great Biotic Grenade. Eventually finish off a little salt, but Snopes, the Sigma coming in single-handed, picking up a 3k off the back of that Gravitic Flux, keeping Bandicoots in it. Oh my goodness, 2.3 meters away with Velocity University for completing that, but Snopes. Oh.
Snopes did work, like actual work there. It's his turn to carry the team now. He got 3 picks, and that just sealed the deal.
Was enough, but we'll have to see what they do without the ultimates in the bank. We saw 3 in the rally in that fight. And speak of the rally, because Ian went down early, traded out for Quackymore. Great play by Vantage, knocking the Roadhog off the side, and EMP though, over the top count, combined with the Earthshatter from Dave Striker, is going to see the Bandicoots fall to the floor. Kemi, now the one-trick wonder on the Doom Fist. So picks up a 3k, is kept. Oh my word, 4 in a row. Bandicoots are still in this thanks to the Doom Fist. Vantage is back on the wrecking ball, has some proximity mines that won't need to use it. Kimmy eventually falls, followed by
Keep
Repeat.
emoting.
Oh, the velocity's back. The tank line is here. They're the only players on the cart, but the whole hog is cracking while pushing Bandicoots back. The sound barrier over the top to keep them alive on the cart. Velocity have the numbers. They have a nano blade. Little Sloth hunting down Pineapple, looking for some more value. Kemi falls. Then Earth Shatter stopping Vantage in their tracks. Just Repeat on the Tracer, the only player left for the Bandicoots. Once he is out of the fight, the cart will push onto the golden box of victory. It was a great fight for Bandicoots, but Velocity University seal the deal on King's Row, take the match and put themselves into 5th spot, almost effectively locking in their playoffs chances.
Coming on Doomfist, Pog. I can't believe Vantage accidentally did the hamster dance. we were so close to greatness.
Well, you don't get any points in the Owlet tournament for style, but in our hearts you do. And, well, I mean, Bandicoots, they lost it, but they made Velocity work for it. There was just so much individual style coming out on that last point.
They weren't mad personal points for me. They did. They ran some funny comps. They memed a bit. That gives a very special spot in my heart.
Well, funnily enough, it was that meme comp which did the best for them. They broke out the bashing on King's Row, and that was the map they had the most success on.
Might have won if they ran a Torbjorn too. I'm not saying anything. Just no.
You think maximum turrets is the way to go?
Yeah, we could have a Torbjorn on the statue. They wouldn't notice it. Okay, they would just start taking damage. It'd be like, what happened?
Well, that's enough of the Bandicoots. Let's focus on the winners of today. Velocity University. Look, they won King's Row. They worked for it. But those first 2 maps were quite a dominant showing, taking out Busan 2-0, taking out Dorado 3-0. I mean, Crackymore really set the tone for how the match was going to go. Even on Busan, the Roadhog was so crucial to Velocity University's success.
Yeah, they did really well. I'm kind of like memeing on the Bandicoots, but I don't want to take away from Velocity, sorry. That they did really well. They had like a really good performance. They were looking very competitive. They were looking very good. They might playoffs, which they're probably going to be going to because they did manage to win this game. They might be able to get one of the higher ranking spots, maybe in the upper 2, maybe upper 3s or 2s, because they were looking very good here.
Indeed, and they've had some good runs. They beat the second place team, Dice Rolls, last week, so they're looking forward. They're looking good going forward. And I also like to draw attention to Brewer on the main support. Played a lot of Lucio, a bit of Mercy where required, needing to fly around in the air. But particularly on the Lucio, I really noticed them step up on King's Row, getting lots, playing really well with the team, getting the team into position with that speed boost. But not only that, particularly around that 3rd point, getting some crucial boops, knocking members of Bandicoots into the pit and making life a lot easier for Velocity. And in the end, that was a large part of what got them across the line.
Yeah, absolutely. He was doing absolutely like amazing with that Lucio.
If you know what, here's a question for you. If you were to pick just one player from Velocity University as the best on ground tonight, the MVP, who would you be looking at?
Oh no, is this one of those like it's what was that? What's the it's like the player of the match thing?
Yeah.
Okay. It's either gotta be Dave Moore or something, Brewer. It's gonna be one of those two. I was thinking just joking, just because of his like blades and stuff, but I'm probably thinking David Moore or Brewer.
Dave Stryker was the main tank.
Yeah, those two are doing very well. They got like a lot of kills. They put out a lot of damage. Brewer got some pretty disgusting boops on the enemy team.
Yeah, sometimes you don't expect the sneaky little Lucio to get in there. You're so focused on the big beefy tanks at the front that Lucio gets in there. You know what? We'll give the MVP to you, Brewer. Congratulations. You're the best on the ground tonight, leading your team to victory. And what a victory it was. Velocity University, do you have any last thoughts on the match, Light?
I feel like Velocity University, they were looking very well, but I don't want to take anything away from Banditcoots. They were looking pretty good, especially at the end of that Bastion. But Velocity, I didn't dominate the whole time, but they were looking so good, and they'll probably be able to challenge some of the upper ranking teams later on in the playoffs. So should have watched that.
Yeah, don't forget about that. One more week left in the regular season to essentially decide seeding for both majors and minors divisions, and playoffs will kick off right after that. I believe it's around September 21st or something. You can find all that information on the Owlet Tournament socials. That's Owlet Tournament in the various places, Twitch, Twitter, etc. Also, check out the Discord for all the latest information on who's playing, when are they playing, and what the standings are. On behalf of everyone in the production team tonight, thank you everyone who played. Thank you everyone who joined to watch this fantastic match. Good night.
Yeah, good night.